Hey, so I just played the Switch 2 early at the Switch 2 experience. I'm going to be writing for a bit with footage in the background, so I hope you enjoy. So this was just an absolutely surreal experience. I have no idea how I got in, but they accepted me as one of the few people to play the Switch 2 early. When I got there, some people just gave me a lanyard that had a gameplay passport. It said that I could play 6 games, and when I do that, I'll get a prize. While I was waiting to enter the first area, they did have some classic music, like Dire Docks and Luigi's Mansion, I think. Once I went in, there were little showcases of the console itself. Wow, it was just so crazy to see in person. They also had a showcase for the other things. They even had wheels for Mario Kart, and they were just wheels, not important. Behind those was just the boxes, and they also just slapped a sticker on the Mario Kart bundle. Turns out, they were just letting everyone hold the console there, and I was able to hold it for a bit, and man, it is just nice. I can confirm the magnets are sturdy as all heck and aren't coming off accidentally like people think. The button is super satisfying to fidget with, which you can take as a good or a bad thing. It definitely was a lot rounder, but it still felt really nice to hold. It wasn't too heavy or big, which is very nice. They were also really proud about how the stand wasn't absolute garbage this time, even though they already did a better one for the OLED Switch 1. After that, we were all set with a partner to play Mario Kart World, and oh my god, it's amazing. They had a fair amount of the characters, and each one they did have had an alternate costume, which was cool. I've heard the concerns, and I can agree. The character select screen is pretty odd, having the costumes not in a sub-menu, but it isn't a deal breaker for me. I couldn't pick the track, unfortunately, but I was able to get Toad's Factory first try, so my life is complete now. There were a few more tracks we did, and during the whole time, it felt so clean and satisfying to play. It's just such a nice experience. Afterwards, they moved everyone there so we could all play Knockout Tour. And I kinda did horrible. I got 22nd place. I don't know what happened, and I heard some other people say that it felt really weird, and like no matter what they did, they weren't doing great. My best guess is that it's because they were forced to use the steering assist, which I can understand for some new people. Although I got out early, it was nice to record other people's gameplay. The new items didn't seem too great, but they weren't that bad either. I didn't ever see the gimmick item though, so I'm not sure what kind of stuff it does. Visually doing 6 different tracks in a row without a loading screen was just absolutely crazy though. It was an experience I was never expecting, and it just felt nice. While everyone was getting set up with Knockout Tour, we all got to do the free run for a bit, and it was just so satisfying to do whatever I wanted. It scratches my itch to try and play those skateboarding games, since you can just do cool tricks and have fun. I was able to unlock a cosmetic while I was screwing around, so I did the Knockout Tour with a costume that wasn't even in the character select, which I think is kind of funny. I did notice that sometimes when you eat a food item, you don't get a costume, it just returns with the default, which just makes it gambling. Afterwards, I got to play Donkey Kong Bonanza, and it looks super promising. I didn't record much, but I can assure you, it's cool. And yeah, the whole game is destructible, and I had a fair bit of fun just messing around with the NPCs by digging them in holes and stuff. It really does just feel like a Donkey Kong Mario Odyssey, which is a good thing in my eyes. Just went around in the air and trying to collect big bananas, which like Odyssey's moves. They even had time-based sub-areas like the ones from Mario Galaxy too, but they let you retry it this time. The whole thing looked gorgeous, and I'm super excited to see it out. They then told us that the gameplay passport was just a limit on how many games we could play in the next area, but half of them didn't even mark it, so I only had it half filled out by the end. I first went and did the Dragon X Drive, and it's weird. The controls are different, but after a bit, I got the hang of it. I had 3 people against 3, which meant that I had the pressure of dealing with real people next to me. The match that we played was incredibly close, and it was their lead, but I made a buzzer beater 3-pointer which won the game. The whole thing went in slow motion, and everyone started cheering. Even the guy monitoring freaked out. I still can't believe that happened. I also played Breath of the Wild, and yeah, it's just Breath of the Wild. It felt and played super smooth and felt incredibly nice though. I didn't get to try out any of the Zelda nodes, unfortunately. What was kind of cool was that they had several saves at different points in the game, but they were marked as autosaves, so I'm curious how they did that. Later, I went and played the bonus content to Kirby and the Forgotten Land. The spoilers I had on that. It looks really fun. Instead of Waddle Dees to save, there were Starries, I think they were called. The word is cute, but I didn't mind them. It did heavily focus on the new mouthful mode, which was Spring. Honestly, it felt really nice to play, but still it's just kinda gimmicky. It was just Kirby, but honestly, that's all it needs to be since I love Kirby. Lastly, we have the thing that is Mario Party Jamboree plus Bowser TV. I played the Bowser TV mode, and it was a nightmare to deal with my face on screen, but I dealt with it. They grouped you in teams of 2 and had you compete with other people, which I felt wasn't necessary, but is fine. We did a game where we had to hit a question block as fast as possible, and I absolutely smoked the other team. The bouncing Gooba's game wasn't great, honestly, as its tracking didn't work well for me, but it's probably dependent on the person. They then had to make us yell and boo as much as possible, and my introverted brain hated it, but I managed to make it through. My team managed to win flawlessly against the other team, which is super cool. Oh yeah, and Bowser just killed the other team at the end. Overall, the camera is a great idea for making the Mario Party better, but isn't for me. On my way out, even though I didn't fill out the passport, they gave me a backpack and a sticker, which is really nice. Honestly, the whole experience was so much fun, and I can't wait to get my hands on the console in June. I know it won't be like a Wii U, as pre-orders were a mess when they started just a while ago. Man, I just want more Mario Kart.